It's every mother's worst nightmare. Your child leaves home and doesn't return.
That fear becomes a reality for Kerry Washington's character in the gripping new Broadway tale, American Son, as she finds herself inside a Miami police station in the middle of the night searching for answers.
I sat down with Kerry Washington and her co-star Pasquale to talk about the challenges and rewards of bringing this layered drama to the stage. Kerry, you could have done anything. I'm sure you got lots of scripts after Scandal. Tell me what this play, reading it, I heard you stayed up all night.
I did. I was just going to start it and read a few pages before bed, and I couldn't put it down. I felt like the conversations we watch in the play are these very, very private conversations that people are having in their homes with the people closest to them, but we're having them in a public space in the play. And so it gives us an opportunity to say things and hear things that we aren't really saying in the world right now, important things.
Stephen, you play Kerry's estranged husband. What did you learn through this, or what are you learning?
Two people who have a great history together and love each other very much and created a family together and still can't seem to get on the same page, you know, with regard to identity and love and race and family in America. That's a hard divide to cross.
Yeah, I think that's actually one of the great things about the way our characters are written is that I think a lot of us are trying to figure out how to talk about love and race and police and identity and culture and class, and we put two people on the stage who love each other very dearly and say, you guys try to figure it out. And so we all kind of get to watch them navigate these important topics with a lot of humor and a lot of love and a lot of pain.
There's 4 characters, and I feel like each one has their own truth. Not to give anything away, because there's a lot to unpack in this.
No, but they're all very convincing. We often say that the person who's right is whoever spoke last in our play.
You find yourself agreeing with the person who just talked.
To have these different perspectives, how important is that?
I don't know that we are making enough time, honestly, in our lives to listen to other people's points of view and other people's experience in life. But we get to do that in the play. We have 4 people who have very, very different views, and we're sitting with them in the dark for 90 minutes, getting into why they think what they think. And it allows us, I think, to stretch our minds and hopefully our hearts a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, the play asks a lot of really hard questions. It's not just about what it's like to be a white person in America or a black person in America, but the difference between being a mother and a father, and the difference between having access to money and you know and a quality education versus not. I mean, it asks a lot of really important, hard political questions that we all think about a lot these days.
I saw it yesterday, and I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about it. How do you all...
Welcome to our world.
I know.
We wake up every night.
Are you constantly thinking about it, or can you kind of separate life from American Son, this beautiful play?
I think it's helpful that we like each other so much over there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would really be taking its toll. So we do a good job of taking care of each other, both before and after.
Yeah,
I think
that's
is a
true.
safe thing
So
to
there's
say.
some fun?
There is. I think it's also like, to me, in some ways, the play is like a prayer. I mean, for me, I feel like it's a moment of saying, like, let's see each other, let's look at each other, let's matter to each other, let's listen to each other, and we get to do that.
That's really beautiful. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
What a great message to end on.
It's a beautiful, beautiful play, too. I know nothing about theater, but I'm like, they're going to win Tonys.
Of course they are.